This is how you treat your cash cow? This is how you treat your savior? This is how you treat the young woman responsible for elevating this unbelievably rancid...
Caitlin Clark reportedly confronted coach Stephanie White in the locker room during a frustrating season, slamming doors and speaking out as tensions peaked. While Sue Bird and Tina Charles joked on a podcast, Clark was battling on the court, sidelined in plays and leadership. Insiders say she voiced what fans have felt: poor coaching, ineffective rotations, and being used as a decoy while others underperformed. This wasn't diva behavior, it was leadership. Clark had enough of being minimized and took a stand.
There is definitely something going on within the locker room, the front office. Something is off, man. This is the third situation in one game we have had involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff and pretty much another player. And it looked like Caitlin Clark definitely had a situation take place where she had a heated exchange with two assistant coaches on.
There is more than one game here. This applies to every quarter, every game, and every timeout. Stephanie White is without a plan. Or worse, she has a horrible one. She has a clumsy offense. She rotates in a weird manner. She embarrassed herself by using Clark. The top player in women's basketball is not drafted. Put her in the spotlight, then put her in a difficult situation. That isn't a plan. That is sabotage. White's approach is based on the archaic share the ball principle, which regards all players as equals. This isn't a camp for kids. It's professional basketball. Furthermore, Clark is more than just a player. You have a playmaker that transcends generations, and you're running plays via Howard and Mitchell. Please. Giving a Ferrari to someone who demands to drive in the right lane at 30m/h is equivalent to that. Clark is benched, pulled, and blamed. The second she expresses herself, a nascent dynasty has been transformed into a chaotic locker room circus by the fever. And the person being ostracized is the only one who has the potential to properly fix it. If Stephanie White is defending this offense, it's time for her to do so from the comfort of her couch. Because this isn't it. Let's revisit the point at which everyone ought to have seen that Stephanie White was never Clark's ideal coach. White went viral last season when he suggested that the Dallas Mavericks looked better without Luka Doncic. Yes, the man who led the league in scoring and led them to a Western Conference Finals, Luka. Because the ball wasn't in Luka's hands on every play. White liked the ball movement, the spacing, and the fluidity. That assessment was not only inaccurate, but also alarming. It revealed how White finds superstar skill to be a nuisance. She is now treating Caitlin Clark in the same manner. Clark should take Luka's place. Put Indiana in instead of Dallas. It's the same stale reasoning. Without our best player, we perform better. In truth, it would be like telling a 5-star chef to take a break, so the interns may spend more time in the kitchen. This isn't a casual game. This is the WNBA. By acting as though your best player doesn't exist, you can't win titles. Star coaching is not what Stephanie White wants to attain. She aspires to be in charge of them. Clark will not allow that to occur. Let's get right to the point and uncover this infraction. It's crap. No rhythm, timing, or spacing. In preparation for working his magic, Clark moves the ball up the floor. Natasha Howard immediately emerges, cutting directly into her lane, as if she were the only choice. What are we doing? After that, Kelsey Mitchell grabs the ball, and it seems as though there is no shot clock. Repeat. Dribble. Dribble, contested brick. Stephanie White also views it as poetic. Clark, on the other side, is out there establishing the pace, throwing passes that her teammates aren't even aware are coming and surveying the court. However, if no one cuts, yells, or finishes, it's all for nothing. There is no system here. There is a malfunction. Clark did not become a WNBA ghost after becoming a college sensation. She remains herself. The distinction is that her coach has an allergy to sending the ball to her. Not to mention the movement of the ball. If it results in shot clock violations and mid-range bricks, it is a movement. This is damage rather than development. Additionally, fans are witnessing it live. Let's be honest, not only is Clark playing worse, but she is also being made to play worse. Since her first breakthrough, her utilization rate has declined by more than 20%. She doesn't touch. Her shoots are down. She delivers flat assists. Nevertheless, she continues to score more than 17 points and dish out 8 assists per game. Consider the appearance of those figures if she were truly handed the keys to the crime. What would happen if you stopped asking Clark to arrange screens as if she were a role player and stopped utilizing Mitchell as your first choice? Clark is surviving, not struggling. She is under pressure in every play she makes. Missed screens, no spacing, and double teams. And bam, she misses a shot. Stephanie White pulls her using it as a reason. Mitchell, meanwhile, logs 35 minutes despite going 2 for 13. Stats are not important here. Suppression is the issue. Clark doesn't require additional time to adapt. She needs the coach to adapt. Instead of supporting the league's future, as one might think, WNBA legends are making fun of her. During a podcast, Sue Bird and Tina Charles made fun of Caitlin Clark for getting shoved, hit, fouled, and more. They were entertained rather than repulsed. Tina went so far as to act out the hit. Sue simply chuckled. There is no remark here. Clown conduct. That is. These are mature women acting like bullies in high school while seated in front of microphones. Clark's protection is already a problem for the WNBA. It is currently being compounded by its mythologies. The worst thing is still to come. Team USA's managing director is Sue Bird. She thus has a say in who is selected for the Olympic team. Do you suppose she is assigning Clark to that squad? Not after this. She's too obsessed with laughing at her wounds. It's petty. It's clear. It's also pitiful. Let's examine leadership, or the complete absence of it. Clark has been struck, shoved, elbowed, and blindsided. No suspension, no action, no flagrant. Kathy Angelbird, the commissioner, stayed silent. Adam Silver is not present. They refer to it as physical basketball. It's incredibly affluent. Punches to the back and attempts by teammates to hump you in celebration are not part of physical basketball. Indeed, Sydney Carlson is completely aware of her deeds. Not its stars, but its veterans are safeguarded in this league. They allow Clark to suffer hit after blow as if it were part of the job because they're frightened of criticism in Twitter. It isn't. It's cowardice. More profound than any post-game remark is this calm. And they won't simply lose Clark if it continues. Because of her, they will lose the fans that came. Let's delete the most ludicrous narrative that exists. Caitlin's absence benefits the Fever. Oh, really? Because that is quickly proved by one game in which Natasha Howard went hot. Hurry up! Saying that your team performs better without electricity solely because you won a game during a blackout is akin to that. Without Clark, the Fever is a scheming, dull, mediocre muddle. No flair, no personality, no highlights. The team has energy, purpose, spacing, and threats when Clark is playing. Hang your hat on a single Commissioner Cup triumph, though. Let's forget the dozen games they've lost thanks to Howard cutting into defenders and Mitchell launching shots. It is primarily thanks to Caitlin Clark that this team gets discussed. Anyone who says differently is either dishonest, blind, or stupid. Sue Bird is now in command of Team USA. Let's not sugarcoat it either. We are completely aware of what that implies. Clark Caitlin, she is already in line to be excluded. It's written on the wall. They'll make the same cliched reasons. She is too young. It's not something she earned. She must establish herself. Players that have solely disparaged her, cheap-shot her on the court, and made fun of her on podcasts will be given roster positions in the meanwhile. It has nothing to do with credentials. It has to do with ego. And we can see straight through it. Team USA is not needed to prove anything to Clark. She has more star power than the complete roster combined, coupled with the numbers, the game, and the fans. Without doubt, EuroLeague would pay her a 7-figure income. Even if she were to travel abroad tomorrow, more people would be watching her than at the WNBA Finals. And let's face it, it won't be for one of talent if they do leave her off the Olympic squad. The reason for this is that the gatekeepers in this league are terrified of what she stands for. She is not among them. They are terrified since she is not a member of the group. So feel free to continue pushing her away. Continue acting as though she is the issue. The truth is already known by everyone. The actual celebrity isn't giggling while sat behind a microphone on the floor. She's shooting 3-pointers, dropping dimes, and bearing the load of a league that doesn't deserve her. Let's not mince words. This is completed. Everyone who has been following Caitlin Clark recognizes that Stephanie White is not the coach she needs. The experiment has not succeeded. Her tactic has failed. She is too obstinate to adjust, and her thinking is out of date. A leader on the floor is not what she wants. She wants a puppet that obeys directions and stands in line. It's not Clark. It has never been. Caitlin Clark plays for a franchise. She is the type of athlete you don't box in, but rather build around. You can't expect supporters to cheer when you drive a Ferrari through a school zone. When the team fails, you don't quiet your leading scorer and then point the finger at her. Clark doesn't require additional time. She must be in charge. She demands teammates that are adept at movement, a mentor who lets her decide the pace, a front office that prioritizes winning over proving the functionality of a faulty system. The Fever only have one opportunity. Fire Stephanie White or risk losing the franchise's finest advancement in decades. That's all here. There is no compromise because Clark isn't simply leaving Indiana if this stays up. She is quitting a league that has let her down on all fronts. And Clark is not at blame if it occurs. Everyone who observed and allowed it to occur has culpability. Let her take the lead or risk losing her forever. Clark is worthy of better. Hit like if you agree. If Stephanie White needs to depart, please leave a comment. We won't let this pass.